Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer State, this is Coloring Bliss, and welcome to this special episode where we're going to delve into something called Pointillism or stippling. Kind of depends on your take on that type of art. We're going to be using alcohol markers to create this effect on a coloring page. It's going to be lots of fun. Before we get started, I want to tell you about a very special giveaway we're doing. I'm giving away this beauty. It's a set of 12 Copic sketch markers, and you have a chance to win. I'm going to tell you all about how to enter this giveaway at the end of the video, so stay tuned to the end. Let's get started with some pointillism fun. All right, so today, to use my pointillism experiment, I'm going to be coloring this page right here. This is a brand new coloring page that I just drew. Now, over at coloringbliss.com, we have around 600 coloring pages that you can come and download. To access that, all you need to do is come on over to Coloring Bliss and become at least a Bliss colorist. That's just $5 a month, and you get access to that entire library. I'm going to be drawing all kinds of fun art for Halloween and Christmas and all the holidays, Hanukkah, Thanksgiving. Here's another one that I recently drew that just got into the library, an adorable little monster holding a crayon. And we also have free coloring pages over at Coloring Bliss. This is one that we recently made available for all of our free members as a limited time fun coloring page to celebrate Halloween. So at least come on over and enjoy our free membership. There's, I think, about 50 different coloring pages and awesome worksheets and downloadables available to our free members. So come on over to Coloring Bliss. It's just me and my husband. We don't share your email or anything. We protect your membership over at Coloring Bliss. So come on over and support us. Okay, so this is the page I'm going to be doing my pointillism on. And I have a question. Do you really know what pointillism is? Do you know what pointillism is, Steve? So I kind of knew what pointillism is, and I went and I looked up the definition. So I wrote it down because I was very intrigued. There's two words that I sort of use interchangeably when I'm thinking of pointillism, and one is pointillism and one is stipple. And so I wanted to know, was there actually a difference between those two terms in art world? And this is what I came when I did my little research. So pointillism is painting with small distinct dots of color, and it's from a distance the dots will visually blend, and it doesn't look like dots until you get really close, and then you can tell that it was made up of tiny little dots. Stippling is marking the painting or drawing with numerous small dots or specks. It can also be done, stippling can be done as an etching as well. It's not just in drawings and paintings. So that was interesting. Pointillism can also be called divisionism, and it can be called chromoluminarianism, I think is what it was. It was a long word. So pointillism has lots of different words that is associated with it. It's been around a long time. Even Van Gogh, how do you say his name? He was involved in pointillism for a little while as well. So that's about the time that pointillism came into existence. So it's been around for a while, and it's really cool. If you want to see some really amazing art, you need to Google pointillism and look at how cool it is. They use color theory a lot. So instead of coloring something green, they'll use yellow and blue dots of color, and then when you step back and look at it, it appears green. It's really cool. So I want to play around with pointillism a little bit. How in depth into color theory I'm going to get, I don't know. If I want to make a blue-green, am I going to go to the trouble of adding green and blue to make blue-green? I don't know. We'll see as I go along how experimental I'm going to get. Some of the things I know about pointillism and stippling. When you use this tool, you kind of keep in mind the value scales. So you want things that appear light. You can use the dots more sparingly. So let me give you an example. We're going to be using, I don't think I mentioned this, my plan is to use my Ohuhu alcohol-based markers for this project. Ohuhu is an awesome brand. It's really inexpensive. I'll put links to these markers. I currently have 4 sets. I bought the original set of Ohuhus a long time ago, so this is a set that isn't even available anymore. So I've written on it with a paint marker. It says original, so I know what they are. And then I bought the brush tips when they were only available in the set of 48. So excited about these. And then they were available in the 72, and I wanted to see these, and I've done reviews on these here on our channel, so you can check those out. And then I was gifted this giant set. These are the chisel tips, 201 set. So I have a lot of awesome colors we can pull on for this experiment. And the reason I'm using my Ohuhus is because they are less expensive, so I can be as aggressive with my pointing as I want to be. That's my plan. I don't have to worry about hurting or damaging the nibs of my markers. I can just go for it. Although I don't think this is going to hurt the nibs at all, but now I don't have to worry about it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and show you real quick what I'm talking about when I talk about value with stippling or pointillism. And I'm going to freely admit right now that it's probably going to be me using those 2 words interchangeably, although we just read the definition and know they're 2 different things. But in my brain, they're kind of the same thing, just so you know. Okay, so if we look at, let's grab a purple, because you guys know I love purple. This is a brush tip. So to get a different value with this marker, I can either do a whole lot of dots, same size, really close together. And that will give me a stronger value of that color, okay? And then if I make those dots same size, just sparser, farther apart, we get the same color, but a lighter value. So your eye will perceive that color of purple differently here, where the dots are closer together than here. Okay, does that make sense? So that's 2 ways to use the dots. Another way to use the dots is different sizes. So I can do some dots tiny, teeny, tiny, and then I can press a little bit harder on the nib of this brush tip and get bigger dots. So that's another way to create different values as I'm working across my page. So am I going to be just totally like go cross-eyed while I'm doing this project? All these tiny dots? I don't know. So that's how they use pointillism. And then again, like I said, if you take yellow and blue and do the pointillism technique together, we know, because we're the artist, that we used yellow and blue. But to the eye, when they step back or look at it from a distance, it should be perceived as green. Now this works really well with alcohol markers because it's a translucent liquid medium, and they play well together when they're layered. So if I pull the yellow this direction, we can see that it was yellow here, and then come back with some more blue here where we're mixing, and then pull it this way so our eye can see that we have blue here. Now technically, according to the rules of pointillism, in the middle it should be perceived as green. Is it being perceived as green?
Yeah, a little bit.
So I probably would need to work with it more, learn my tools, what yellow works better with what blue. Was this the right blue? That's where color theory comes in, because some blues are more blue and other blues are more like violet-y, and you know what I mean? So you want to be mindful of what blues and what yellows you put together. This is a very orangey yellow that I picked, so it might not have been the best yellow that I grabbed. So those are some basic theories about pointillism and stippling if you want to try this effect for yourself. I love adding dots to my work. You guys have seen me do it a lot. I love it because it hides mistakes, it adds texture, and it's just fun. So I love it. But we're going to try to do an entire piece of work, an entire coloring page covered in these dots, an entire coloring page of pointillism and stippling. That's my goal. Now I am going to do a small cheat. I'm going to go ahead and call it a cheat. I'm going to do a base layer of the lightest color to get rid of some of the white of the paper in certain areas, and then come on with stippling. The stippling will be used for the shadows and adding more value to that certain color. So there'll be a little bit of that going on just to speed up the process, or I might be here for days, and I don't want to be here for days. So there'll be a little of that.
Have you ever done this before?
Of actual pointillism?
Have you ever colored a page using pointillism?
Not an entire page, no. I've done certain areas.
Because I've seen you do, like the stippling,
yeah,
but I've never seen you color
an entire
like
page.
Yeah.
No, I've done, like I said, certain areas and certain effects this way. But never an entire page. So it's a new challenge to myself. It's going to be lots of fun. I have lots of colors to pull from, and I'm ready to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and hit a time lapse and let myself work for a few minutes, kind of get myself in the groove, learn a little bit, and then I'm going to come back and share with you what I have learned so far and let you in on my journey. So let's hit a time lapse and let this pointillism begin. Wish me luck, you guys. Here we go. Okay, we've been working for a while now, and I've got the hat and the hair pretty much where I want them. So let me give you a little overview of how I'm feeling about this pointillism thing. First off, I like having the two different kinds of nibs. So I've got the brush nib and I've got the fine point. Let me show you the difference. So on the Ohuhu chisel tip marker, it comes with a chisel or a broad nib on one side and a fine point on the other side. This fine point nib is fantastic for pointillism. Gives you one consistent nib, and it's one consistent stippling point that you can tap around, which is fantastic. But it's just one point. You don't get to do the varying sizes of points, so that's a little bit limiting in what you can do. It's also a much more firmer point, so I can go really fast. I can hold the paper steady and just tap, 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 tap really fast and get a lot of dots down quick. Now the other marker I'm working with is this one, the Ohuhu brush tip marker. It's also got a chisel tip on one side, and then on the other side it's got the brush nib. So with this one, it's a much softer nib, very flexible. I can get a really teeny tiny point, smaller than the fine point nib, and I can get a really nice big circle as well if I push harder. But that means I have to go slower and really focus, really concentrate on the size of nib or the size of dot I'm applying to the paper. So I don't know. I like both. I like having both to work with. So that's really great. As far as the piece of work I'm working on, I'm pushing myself in a direction that I don't usually do. If you've ever watched my channel, you know that I typically pick a top right light source, especially when I'm trying a new art medium or a new art technique. So here I'm doing a new art technique to myself. But as I started, I had to pick a color scheme, and then I had to choose my light source. And I was looking at the piece of art, and I saw the little candle, and I thought, oh, there's a very definite light source here. It's not top right, it's left side. And I was like, oh no. Now I've got a new art style I'm trying and a light source that I'm not very comfortable with. So I'm actually doing two things that I'm not comfortable with at once here. So I'm forcing a light source that so far I'm not very happy with how it's turning out, but we're only halfway into this, and what do I always tell everybody? Do not ever judge halfway through, right, Steve?
Yep.
That's the worst thing you can do, because halfway through is usually when things are not coming together. You're not seeing your full color scheme. Your whole vision isn't there yet. So yeah.
I think it's looking great.
Can you see the light source?
Oh yeah. Immediately I knew that was. I thought that was really cool.
Oh, good. Because I'm like, oh. And the other thing I'm a little worried about is, does her hair look like octopus tendrils?
I guess a little bit, yeah.
That's all I
she's
can
a witch.
see. She is a witch, so it's
so
okay.
Maybe that's what she has.
But all I can see, because the little dots kind of look like little suckers, all I can see is octopus blip blip blips.
I didn't even think that.
Okay,
but now,
good.
Of course, now that you've said that,
All
that's
you're
I'm
going to
gonna
see. But, okay, so what I'm thinking is I've got really good yellow light source happening because it's a yellow light source. But I wish it was a little bit brighter. And so I may come back with my handy dandy white Posca paint pen and add some more little dots of white to add that little bling of white at the end. But I'm going to reserve that because I don't know, once the light source of yellow has washed over all the objects, I may feel totally different about the light source. Again, I'm working with a light source I'm not comfortable with, so I need to not make that judgment till the end. So I'm going to hold this tool in reserve as sort of my save myself tool, and we'll see how it goes. Now, as far as how the colors are laying down, I've got my color scheme that I'm really happy with. I chose orange as my mother color, but I don't know if that's going to happen. We'll see. That means a lot of these tools down here are going to have to be orange, and her skin tone's going to be a little orange. Is that too much orange? Are the objects going to fight each other with her face? Those are the decisions I'm going to have to make as I go along. And then I added yellow for the candle and the light source. And then as I was building in her hat and her hair, I got thinking about the whole pointillism as an art and how you're supposed to use different colors to make up the color. So I got thinking, all right, what is blue-green? Blue-green is blue and green. So I went and grabbed a blue and a green and I threw that into her hat. And I love it.
It's really nice.
And then on blue-violet, I was going to grab anyway, I ended up with a red-violet because I thought a little bling of kind of a pinky color might be fun, and then this more blue, which is still sort of a light blue violet, but it's not the same blue violet I'm working with, so I feel like it's a little bit of a different blue, and that's what I worked into her hair. So you see moments of that blingy pink and the blue in there. So yeah, I kind of like that. The overall, it feels blue violet, but then when you look closer, which is what the definition of pointillism is, from afar, it looks one color, and then when you get closer, you see the colors that make up the one color. So I feel like I'm being true to the definition of pointillism. So I feel like I'm on the right track, but man, this takes a lot of work. And all I want to do is just flick some color down. I love my marker flicks. I love to work with alcohol markers. We have a whole, I think it's a 5-part markers series going on right now at Coloring Bliss, teaching how to color with alcohol markers. I'm going to put some images up on the screen right now, all about different ways that we're teaching how to color with markers. We'd love to have you come and join. And I teach how to do the flick and some beautiful blendings with our alcohol markers. It's so much fun. I would love to have you come and join us. But right now, I got to get back to thousands and thousands of dots. Okay, enjoy the time lapse. Okay, we are coming up on the last little details here. So I've made a list of all the supplies. I haven't written down the Posca pen yet, the white Posca pen, which what I'm doing right now is just stippling in or doing my pointillism with it in the highlights. So I'm kind of just going through each object, anywhere where I want a bright moment on that object, and adding a few dots. So the Posca paint pen, what it usually does is it interacts with whatever I've colored below and will usually tint down to that color. So if there's any gel pen or anything below it, colored pencil, which I didn't use, it'll usually tint it. Now, alcohol marker, not so much. Sometimes though. So this is just going to add one more last dimension to all these dots. So as I'm doing this, I thought I'd give you my final thoughts on this project. This has been really fun. It's been a great practice in shadow and highlight, building dimension. I really like the color scheme I picked. Working this way is really challenging. Super challenging. My eyes are a little cross-eyed. I have to film one more video today, so I'm a little worried about that because I'm super cross-eyed now after doing all of this. But I really like the end effect. So much texture, so many interesting things going on. I did a base layer under everything except for the skin. The skin I left white and then built the dots up on top of it. And I think you can tell the highlight, the yellow highlight dots really glow. Where like in the hair where it has the purple undertone and then the yellow highlight on top, the yellow kind of goes that muddy color that you would expect when you mix yellow and purple together. I'm not mad at it, but it is what it is, you know. Yeah, I'll give you a different angle here. That's one reason why I've decided to come in with a few yellow stipples, is to brighten up these areas. I think alcohol markers are ideal for this type of work because I was able to come back, layer in more, you know. I learned a lot about this process and it was so much fun. Will I do another page like this? Maybe not an entire page, maybe just certain elements because it was a lot of work. I'm tired. I'll have to take a break from it and come back and look at it again and then decide what I want to do. I'm just really excited about how this turned out. Really excited. Let me just do solo here, get my face off of this and zoom back a bit so you can see the whole page and how it turned out. I did just swipe the marker along the bottom. I didn't do stippling along the bottom, mainly because I thought it would be too busy. Okay, firstly, because I thought it would be too busy. Secondly, I was getting really tired and I couldn't see myself stippling that whole table. But really it was because I thought it would be too busy to have even more dots going on. And I wanted the eye to go to the main thing. I kind of don't like those dots I added to her lips. I'm going to back those off. So it was really important to have my swatch. Once the paint pen dries, you can go right on top of those paint dots and color them, just so you know. There, I like that better. Okay, so it was really important to have all the swatches written down because then it gave me a roadmap for what I was doing. The stippling got really confusing, moving between light to dark, back and forth, trying to build the tones and colors I wanted to. So this was like a roadmap through all the colors every time I moved to a different object. Now, what was that color combination I was using for blue-green? This was like vital for my sanity. So that was really great. Okay, let me show you again what the tools were that I was using, and then I'm going to send you off to Jennifer to let her tell you exactly what to do to enter for our giveaway if you want some really cool alcohol markers. Let me move this in the light so you can see the bling I added. I need to move it in the light the other way too, because I love it. I love the little bling I added on her face. It makes it look like the candlelight is hitting her face. Come on, where is it? Where is it? I want it so you can see the bling hitting her face. There, I found it. Oh, it's just so charming. Bring it up close so you can see all the details. Love how her skin tone turned out. Love her little rat friend. Oh, I'm just really pleased with the whole thing. Very pleased with it. What do you think? Comment below. Will you be trying pointillism? Did I convince you to try this kind of art? That's my question for you. I had a great time. Thank you for joining me. Okay, Jennifer, tell them how to enter the giveaway. All right, thanks for watching this video. I hope you had fun watching me play around with pointillism. Now I'm going to tell you how to win this beautiful set of Copic Sketch 12 markers. All you need to do is click on the link in the video and follow it. We have lots of different ways for you to enter, but the trick is you need to get your entry in before the end of October. So the last day for your entry is October 31st, 2020. We'll be announcing the winner on November 1st, 2020. Now, if you are watching this video after those dates, make sure you subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss out on our next big giveaway. We have lots of fun plans for giveaways for this channel. You don't want to miss out. So subscribe, hit the notification bell, and make sure you hit a like on your way out of this video. Thanks, everyone. Good luck on the giveaway, and have a wonderful, colorful, blissful day. Bye-bye, everyone.